Shoppers beware. We begin with a warning tonight about skimming. Good evening. I'm Amanda Starrentino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. This warning comes just days before the busy holiday shopping season kicks off. Someone stole a Zionsville woman's debit card information and made hundreds of dollars worth of purchases across the country. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum explains how it happened and shows us the lessons to be learned from it.
It's a crime that can happen to anyone, anytime you swipe your card. Account numbers stolen and used by others, often for very pricey purchases. Lindsay Maldonado says it just happened to her this weekend. She says her debit card got declined, so she checked her account balance.
It had exactly $0.
And even though she had her card in her purse, someone else was using it.
It said there's a transaction for $500 and then another one for like $300. That was just not my spending.
When she posted about it on Facebook, at least 7 other people in Zionsville responded and said they too had unrecognized purchases on their cards.
Very surprised, just because it all happened like within a week or so of each other, so it makes you think that there's someone targeting like this area.
She thinks someone got her information from a skimming device, which can gather account information from your card's magnetic strip.
The police said that there's like a ribbon that they can slip into the, where you stick the card and swipe it.
Investigators are still trying to figure out where that skimming device was located, but they recommend inspecting the machine before you swipe your card. Police also recommend using well-lit gas stations and ATMs, preferably ones with cameras. Some Speedway and Kroger gas stations are upgrading their technology to encourage the use of chip cards because those are more secure. Lastly, officials recommend using credit rather than debit cards, where thieves can wipe your bank account clean. Maldonado says those are changes she plans to make, as this hit comes at a tough time of year for her family.
Right before Thanksgiving, Christmas, son's birthday's right after Christmas. Well, I know 800 isn't a lot for some, but for us, it's a lot.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Well, police also recommend checking your account statements regularly and reporting any fraudulent charges as soon as you notice them.
How about that? Temperatures well into the 50s today. We're back there tomorrow. The changes really start to kick in Wednesday as we move toward Thanksgiving. 48 in New Pal, that's a cool spot. 53 in Castleton. Temperature in Greenwood also low to mid 50s. That's down from the upper 50s, our high temperature today. Cool spot 46 in Fort Wayne. 10 degrees warmer down in Evansville at 56. The south wind will keep our temperatures propped up tonight, generally around 40 to start the day tomorrow. By noon, 52. Our rain chances increase in the afternoon tomorrow, and the most likely time for rain and even some thunderstorms tomorrow night into the overnight hours into Wednesday morning.
Now at 6, we've just learned Cummins is cutting 2,000 jobs worldwide. The Columbus-based engine maker says it must reduce costs because product demand has fallen off faster than expected. Cummins has 62,600 employees with about 10,000 at its Indiana facilities. No word yet on how many Hoosier jobs are on the line.
This traffic alert new at 6. On or after December 2nd, Illinois Street will close between McCarty and South Streets. Citizens Energy Group will complete construction work on the lower Pogues Run Tunnel, which is part of the Dig Indy Tunnel system. Citizens Energy says the closure will last until July. Detour signs will be in place to help you get around this. Checking the RTV6 news feed now, a Southern Indiana high school coach who suffered a stroke during a game Friday night has died. West Washington School Corporation has been posting updates on Coach Philip Bozeman after he suffered what they called a minor stroke as a result of a blood clot while the team played at Lutheran High School in Indianapolis. On Monday afternoon, the school said Bozeman died.
3 people were injured after a partial building collapse in downtown Cincinnati. The building is being developed by Indianapolis-based Flaherty & Collins. 3 contractors were working on the 5th floor when crews directly above them poured 3 feet of concrete, which caused part of the building to collapse.
A Northern Indiana church youth leader is facing child molestation charges tonight. An 11-year-old boy claims Scott Christner touched him on multiple occasions. Court documents say Christner admitted he touched the victim at least 2 times, but he felt the boy didn't mind. Christner was a youth leader at First Baptist Church in Goshen, Indiana.
South Bend Mayor and presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg just released a plan he says will make long-term care for seniors more affordable. The plan would raise taxes on the wealthy to ensure the solvency of Social Security. It also offers the government benefit benefit of $90 per day for those who need assistance with 2 or more daily living activities. His plan would also provide 12 weeks of guaranteed paid family leave and give you credit towards Social Security if you have to leave work to care for a family member.
Concerned about families unable to provide food or a Thanksgiving meal for their kids over the long holiday, one local school came up with a solution. RTV6's Stephanie Wade shows you who is stepping in to ensure students are healthy and safe over the holiday break.
For some around this time of year,
budgets are small, really tight on funding, super tight.
We were thinking we probably have a lot of families that don't have the ability to do a traditional Thanksgiving meal.
Some kids, they're not going to have it, or they're going to go without. And for us, it would be short.
But Providence Cristo Rey High School.
I'm widowed, so my older kids, I've raised all of them by myself.
Sought to change that. Providing a full-blown Thanksgiving meal to students and their families, like Dale Illingworth, a parent, a wrestling coach, and a substitute teacher.
For me, it just takes a lot of burden off of providing, and we can relax more, I guess, like calming, no more anxiety.
Nearly 60 families are taking these bags or boxes home today. Check this out. They're filled with bread rolls, potatoes, vegetables, and of course, turkeys. A private school on the west side meant for low-income minority students, Providence Cristo Rey regularly works with community partners like local churches. Second Helpings.
We send sandwiches year-round to the students, so we try to help fill that gap.
We also offer food boxes that students can take home, or bags of food from our food pantry, and support from Second Helpings so that they can have other regular meals throughout the time to make sure that when kids aren't here and they're home full time, they're still eating healthy food.
Illingworth says it's not just about the food, but showing someone cares.
This is going to go a long way for a lot of those single parent homes, even the dual parent homes. Both the parents are working, and the funding is super low because a lot of them are even working minimum wage or barely making ends meet.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Well, Second Helpings also provides after-school snacks to Butler Lab schools and Washington High School as well. If you'd like to receive assistance, you can go to secondhelpings.org. Click on the We Want to Receive Meals button. Second Helpings also has 800 volunteers and at least 60 every day in the building helping prepare and deliver the food. They're always taking on more volunteers.
The controversy continues over the new gender option offered on driver's licenses. New rules could be on the way that would make it tougher to make use of the option. Troy Washington is working for you to get to the bottom of why some think the changes are necessary, while others believe it's just the latest attempt to make the process more challenging.
In March, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles added Gender X as an option for those getting a license, becoming the 6th state to give applicants options other than just male or female.
I think the intent of the law is good. I think for the youth that we represent, for them to go get their license changed, it's going to be difficult.
Chris Paulson is the CEO of Indiana Youth Group. She says the option is progress and should be left at that. Instead, another step could be on the way that would require forms to be signed by a doctor and sent to the health department to be able to add the X. The rule change would create challenges for only non-binary individuals looking to get their hands on one of these. Paulson brings up the fact that for those in some parts of Indiana, completing the requirements might be even tougher based on lack of resources.
Some of the rules are a little cumbersome for them to follow, especially if they live out in rural areas where they don't have access to healthcare providers that can write them the letter that they need.
She thinks no difference should be made.
Our youth are already marginalized and feel like they're not seen, and this is just another step that makes them feel like they're less than or not seen.
Douglas Hamilton says it's not about singling anyone out. It's actually about keeping the integrity of an ID intact, and that's it.
How many times did the BMV had to change the driver's license so people couldn't counterfeit it? And to me, that's how do I trust this ID that we put so much time and effort in?
He says adding rules might be necessary to make sure people aren't abusing the option.
It brings up the question, is that the person truly identified by that ID?
Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Well, there was a public hearing held this morning to discuss the possibility of the change. The deadline for comment on this proposal is at midnight. A local program is creating success stories for Hoosiers of all backgrounds. We introduced you to the ICRF at the beginning of the year.
And coming up, we are following up on their massive growth and positive influence they have in the state's construction industry and how you can get involved.
And it's rain on the way for us, but snow from portions of Nebraska across Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. This storm system will wind up. We'll talk about 3 big impacts it will have on the Hoosier State coming up.
402-7464. This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Immediately after the story aired, we saw increased traffic to our applications. There were more people that wanted to come into the class. This is still a program that not very many people know about, so getting the word out is so important to what we do. Yeah, we're just so appreciative for Hiring Hoosiers segment and for the opportunity to get that coverage.
Well, Hiring Hoosiers first introduced you to the Indiana Construction Roundtable Foundation in January.
It offers a program for adults interested in the construction industry. The BY program bridges the gap of entry-level workers to employers in the Indianapolis market. Since then, the program has been growing across the state in both size and diversity. And tonight, how it's giving Hoosiers the opportunity to live comfortable lives when they're not on the job.
We do have a job.
The Indiana Construction Roundtable Foundation is dedicated to filling the state's construction industry with an educated workforce. In classrooms across central Indiana, just like this one, adults of all backgrounds and ages are participating in a one-of-its-kind learning experience.
Every day they're meeting with different types of employers, and at the end of this program, they have the opportunities to get hired on with the employers.
With about 1 year of courses done, Chris Price, the president of ICRF, is seeing quick growth. The foundation has added locations across the state, and about 300 participants are set to graduate by the end of the year with the skills and credentials they need to start a career.
It's comparative to year 1 apprenticeship training. So the students who go through this class, they have their OSHA 10 under their belt, which is important to employers.
Plus, the program is open to any Hoosier applicant, regardless of their background.
We've got people coming right out of high school, and they're using this to connect to their career. People who've never had a traffic ticket, people who have serious backgrounds.
After just 6 weeks in the classroom, students are prepared to take what they've learned in here directly to the work site, where a majority of graduates are employed within 3 months, like Daniel Perryman here, who has been with Blakely Corporation since April.
I read the paperwork to it, and it kind of sounded a little bit too good to be true, but I can tell you they stood by every word that they said. The tools that I took from that class, I was able to bring here and exceed.
Daniel is a concrete and labor apprentice. He's already received a raise and says he continues to grow within his role.
I have a background of myself that's not traditionally easy to get into companies and actually a career. The pay is actually good, and then I'm great with my hands, and I needed a career, not so much of a job.
As a dad of 6 kids under the age of 4, he hopes others take advantage of the program too. Daniel has already recruited more than 30 people to follow in his footsteps.
If you're looking for an honest paying job and you're a hard worker, don't mind getting up, being on time every morning, they got work for you.
It's not just about the job for Daniel, it's about a career path that will let his family live comfortably, and he can feel positive about the work he does.
It's definitely changing me. It's definitely changing, all for the good.
And ICRF says they are seeing more balanced diversity in their classes as well. Again, ICRF is a free program to participate in, as the courses are covered by grants and private and public funding. To learn more about ICRF and how to get involved, go to our website at hiringhoosiers.com and click on this story.
It's that kind of day. Look at this out on the swing sets. Anything you could do to get outside and stay out there for a little longer. I'm sure the kids used a little extra energy on recess today. The coat was enough, but you didn't even need that for most of the day. The wind out of the south pushing temperatures into the upper 50s. The high wind watch goes into effect Wednesday morning. It's probably mid to late morning Wednesday through the evening hours where we'll see the peak wind gusts that will approach 50 miles per hour in some spots. That's one major impact. As far as severe weather potential with this weather system, looks like St. Louis to around Memphis, Little Rock, Arkansas to the south and west. We'll have thunderstorm potential as we go overnight tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. Keep in mind, non-thunderstorm winds will already be around 50. 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, center of the storm system there, panhandle of Texas. Then it moves to the Missouri-Iowa state line. All of these lines you see represent the very windy conditions. It will push to Lake Michigan near Chicago, Green Bay, Wisconsin as we go to 7 a.m. on Wednesday. That will send our temperatures falling. Cooler temperatures will start to work their way back in. As far as rainfall, do expect a couple of thunderstorms to drop maybe a ½ inch of rain in some spots. Could be an isolated higher amount and then lower too, as well as 1/4 to ½ inch rainfall. The Wednesday wind gusts pretty consistent through the day with these isolated gusts busting that 50-mile-per-hour limit. As far as setting the table here over the next few days, I worked hard for you. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Temperature 55 early Wednesday, falling through the day, should be dry. Chance of any rain on Thanksgiving, minimal, 20% chance. Maybe late as we get to Thursday night into Friday, a rain snow potential with temperatures in the 40s. I think more likely we'll hold off till Sunday before we would see any snow showers mix in. Wind gusts during the day tomorrow, not nearly as strong. A south wind that will do two things: bring in the rainfall eventually, and then also boost our temperatures back into the 50s tomorrow, above average for this time of the year, but not quite as warm as today. Tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock, ongoing rain. Want to show you the line of showers and thunderstorms about 3 a.m. It's possible that wakes you up. Not expecting severe storms, but again, it's already windy. You add a little thunderstorm gust there, we could have some isolated thunderstorm warnings. Cooler temperatures roll in on Wednesday. Here are your Wednesday headlines. High wind watch, consistent winds 20 to 30 miles per hour with those higher gusts. 7-day planner as we get to Friday, big shopping day. Slight chance of rain, 44. Rain is likely Saturday, 53 degrees. Temperatures cooler Sunday, still a chance of showers. And then Monday, we're back to 36 degrees. That's a lot cooler than today's 58.
I can't believe we made it that high.
Goal accomplished.
Goal accomplished there.
All right, Brad Brown is here with us with sports. Hey, Brad.
Good evening, everyone. The Colts will have to make another significant change to the starting lineup. Tight end Eric Ebron put on injured reserve today. He is out for the rest of the season. Ebron had played in all 11 games, had 31 catches this season, but a bad ankle finally caught up with him. The Colts signed tight end Ross Travis to fill Ebron's roster spot. And so while the Colts had Sunday off, the AFC South race got a bit tighter. The Titans rolled past the Jaguars and pulled even with Indy in the standings. That makes this Sunday's game all the more important for the Colts. Is it a must-win? Maybe not completely, but we're certainly getting close to that. At this moment, the Colts would be on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs go. Indy is in a 4-way tie with teams at 6-5 records. But losses this season already to the Steelers and Raiders have the Colts behind both of those. And right now, the number 8 team in the AFC. Buffalo and Pittsburgh currently the wildcard teams. Suddenly, this week's game looks almost like an early elimination battle. The Colts did come away with a 19-17 win in the season's first meeting against the Titans. That was week 2 in Nashville. But it was all overshadowed by missed kicks from Adam Vinatieri. Remember that? A couple days later, the kicker was here telling us that he wasn't retiring the first time. We'll see what the big storyline goes here for week 13. The stakes are certainly much higher. The Pacers play the second of a 4-game homestand tonight. It's a 7 o'clock start against the Memphis Grizzlies. Malcolm Brogdon is set to return to the lineup for the Pacers. He missed the last handful of games due to an injury. Miles Turner is also available. The Pacers are home Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. A big game on Sunday for Pacers forward Alize Johnson was up in Fort Wayne. Got some G League action with the Mad Ants. A career-high 36 points and 14 rebounds. Stellar effort up there. First win of the season for the Ants, and a solid chance Johnson could see some more two-way minutes up there as the winter goes on. The Indiana Fever will name their new head coach on Tuesday. The team has called an 11 a.m. news conference at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Fever President Allison Barber, Team VP Tamika Catchings are scheduled to be on hand. We'll have updates for you on your RTV6 app and tomorrow on the IndyChannel.com before we get to it here on the news. State Finals Week for high school football. Today, the 12 coaches met at Lucas Oil Stadium. Their final big meeting with IHSAA officials, and they talked to the media as well. 3 games each, Friday and Saturday. It's starting at noon both days. 5 teams are back from last year's finals. We will have some previews of the games all week right here on RTV6. Finally tonight, Columbus, Indiana's Tyler Duncan getting his first career PGA Tour victory. A 12-foot putt on the first playoff hole Sunday at the RSM Classic. He had birdies on the 3 of the final 4 holes. A 65 got him into the playoff. 19 under par for the weekend wins it. Duncan was the state champion 2007 Columbus North High School. Played at Purdue as well. His paycheck just shy of $1.2 million. Well done. Butler and IU both on the court tonight as well. Have a look at those, plus the Pacers all coming up for you at 11. See you then. Back to finish up tonight's News at 6 after a final break.
At Ross, yes for less.
2,000 Indianapolis families will have a Thanksgiving meal thanks to the Colts, several businesses, and a whole lot of volunteers. Today, Colts players, cheerleaders, and Mascot Blue were among those handing out the food.
Yeah, this is the 8th year for the Colts Horseshoe Helpings program. Each family gets a turkey, sides, and pumpkin pie. Also this year, the campaign is sending 50 meals each to 10 churches in the area so they can give those meals out to people who were unable to attend today's event.
Now, I look these kind of things up because I'm more likely to make mistakes, but one of the most common mistakes in preparing the turkey, what do you think it might be?
Not letting it thaw?
Yeah, that was actually number 1 on the list that I saw. See, Mark and I, we were floundering for an answer.
Right.
39 is where we start, 55 for the high. The rain chances go sky high tomorrow night. Patience, it takes patience.
Have you started cooking the turkey yet?
No.
I'm going somewhere to eat it.
Hi, Mom.
Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock.
We'll see you at 7.